Okay, today we're going to talk about proportions. A proportion is an equation stating that two ratios, right, just fractions, are equal. So like if I told you that 1/2 equaled 5/10, you would be like, oh yeah, for sure, because they both mean a half. This is a proportion, right? 1/2 is the same thing as 5/10. So there's several different ways that we can tell if two ratios form a proportion. One is if they have the same cross products. So for example, here, if we do 2 times 3, that's 6. And then 6 times 1 is 6. So these two have the same cross products, therefore they would form a proportion. On the next one, 11 times 5 is 55. 6 times 10 is 60. These are not the same cross products, so they would not form a proportion. On this third one, 3 times 11 is 33. 14 times 2 is 28. They do not have the same cross products, so the answer is no. So cross products works every time. Sometimes you may not want to use cross products if you're dealing with bigger fractions, but other than that, it's a great way to tell if two fractions would form a proportion. The next way is to check to see if they have the same simplest form. So what we're going to do is simplify these fractions. 2 and 4 are both divisible by 2. 40 and 80 are both divisible by 2. They have the exact same simplest form, so yes, these are a proportion. On this next one, 10 and 18 are both divisible by 2. That's 5/9. 15 and 27 are both divisible by 3. That's 5/9. That is the same simplest form. And then this last one, 1/4, that's in simplest form. 2 and 10 are both divisible by 2, which makes 1/5. These are not the same simplest form, so the answer is no. Okay, and again with cross products, 80 times 2 is 160. 4 times 40 is also 160. 10 times 1 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's a no. And then the last way of telling is if they have what we call a common multiplier. That's where we're essentially taking the smaller fraction, multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number, called a common multiplier, to make the second fraction. So here, 7 times 5 is 35, and 6 times 5 is 30. This is a common multiplier. It's like I took this whole first fraction, multiplied everything by 5 to get the second one, so therefore it would be a proportion. 8 times 3 is 24. Well, 9 times 4 is 36. These do not have a common multiplier, therefore they're not a proportion. And then this last one, 5 times 2 is 10. 9 times 2 is 18. So the common multiplier is 2, and it would be a proportion. You can also, again, use cross products. 18 times 5 is 90. 9 times 10 is 90. So these two form a proportion. Or simplest form, 8/9, that's in simplest form. 24 and 36 are both divisible by 12. So the simplest form of this would be 2/3. 8/9 and 2/3 are not the same simplest form, so they're not a proportion. So again, cross products, same simplest form or common multiplier, either way, you can do them. It's just up to you based on the numbers and the size of them and all of that.